Let's ask that question. Why are we doing this?
That's a great question. So, we're doing this for a number of reasons. I just think that we've experienced so much in life, we've overcome so many things. And I'm a strong believer that when you share your story, you connect, you relate to other people, you inspire them, give them hope. There's just so many things that comes along with sharing stories and times that we almost gave up on our marriage, on so many things. Welcome to Catch 22 Podcast. I am Tashell.
And I am Christopher Williams.
You are crazy.
That I am.
Man, we are so excited to be here, to actually start this podcast, to do so many things. We are excited. What about you, babe?
Yeah, I'm excited. I've been excited. I'm glad we've gotten started at this. You know, so just why are we doing? Let's ask that question. Why are we doing?
That's a great question. So, we're doing this for a number of reasons. I just think that we've experienced so much in life, we've overcome so many things. And I'm a strong believer that when you share your story, you connect, you relate to other people, inspire them, give them hope. There's just so many things that comes along with sharing stories and times that we almost gave up on our marriage, on so many things. I look back over the past,
People.
yeah. Mhm. I look back over, we've been married 13 years, almost 13. And the things that we've been through, it seems like it's been short, but it's been long.
Right.
And I just think in this world today, people share the good parts of their lives, and they may be ashamed to share the parts that are not so good. But that's just not how I'm built. I feel like people need to hear the parts that are not good so that they can know there's hope that everything will get better.
Right.
So for me, being who I am, going through so many things, just, being a mother, being a parent of four, being a wife, a business owner, someone who struggled with low self-esteem, not feeling worthy, feeling less than a lot in life, and just feeling like I was by myself a lot of the times, even in marriage. And to come on the other side of not always looking at things from, oh, what people did to me, or I'm like this because of what somebody else did to me. Going from that mentality to having a shift in positive perspective, I'm ready to share from that transition. Because
Right.
if people know the old Tayshell, the unhealed Tayshell, they would be surprised as to who I am today. What about you?
Uh, well, for me, it's about the journey of just truly finding out. I think a lot of us as men, it's who are we? Like our identity. Like
Yeah.
there's this preconceived notion that we are we're the protector, which we should be. We're the provider, which we should be. But at what point are we able to show it? Just truly connect with ourselves and let that outpour, that outcry, just authentic and real, and not be judged by it. Oh, he this. Oh, he must be this. Oh, he like, dude, really? Like, that's not. It's not about that. We all have emotions. I don't care if you're a thug. I don't care whatever you may be. You know what I mean? The strongest man in this world at some point in his life cried. Probably out of his mama's womb, but he cried,
That's
right?
okay.
So, but we still, I know we was having a conversation just the other day and about this inner child that actually does exist in all of us. Like it truly exists, and if I think it's okay. I'm not a psychologist in that respect,
Okay.
but I think connecting with that inner child is critical to our well-being through this journey as a man. What about a woman?
Oh, I totally agree. I think that, man, to tell a little bit about that backstory since you brought it up,
Okay, that's fine.
what was this, a couple of weeks ago?
That was last week.
Was it? No,
That,
before we went to New Orleans. Think no? Okay.
it was afternoon.
Okay, you know my memory.
Yeah, it's bad.
We were just having a deep conversation. Trying to think exactly what prompted the conversation.
That's something I
Oh, it was
did.
after, yes.
Yeah.
The New Orleans trip that we went on. We went to Essence Festival. And I'm always excited when Chris and I go on vacation. It's not too often that we get away from the kids, but I had this overwhelming expectation of him and our connection when we were there. And the hurricane happened. We were in New Orleans. We couldn't get home. So our kids, they were here with my sister, but their electricity went out. It could have been a stressful situation to be away from them during this storm. Well, for me, I was like, well, I'm not going to stress about it. We're in New Orleans an extra day. I'm going to pray. I'm going to let God handle it. But of course, him being the man, the protector, his mindset was totally different. And so he's sitting in the corner on the little couch, and I took my shower and I'm all like, okay,
She read.
I'm ready. I'm in this bed. I'm like, okay, is he going to? So I asked him, I said, are you going to stay in that corner? Like, what are you doing in the corner? Oh, yeah, I'm over here. I'm probably just going to try to, I'm about to go to sleep. Well, why are you sitting in the corner about to go to sleep? And your wife is in this bed. Our kids are away in Texas. But he was stressed, and I knew it, and I saw him. I saw him curling, like I saw it, like his shoulders curving in, because he did not have control. And he felt bad that our kids were here without electricity, and we were in New Orleans, and we had everything that we needed. I saw him go through that, so a part of me was like, well, I just need to pray for him. So that's what I did. I said, Lord, he's over there. He's having an anxiety attack. Allow him to just truly let go and let you take control, right? There's something to learn out of everything. But I know that's easier said than done from the perspective of a man. Well, I think he eventually came to bed. I was asleep at that time. But when we woke up, y'all, I had an attitude.
Straight.
I was trying not to have an attitude. I was like, Tashell, give him grace and mercy. You understand that he's a man and what he's going through. But then another part of me was like, but he ain't even touched me. Like, we on vacation. Like, we'll have nothing else to do. We could have just been sleeping and eating and in the bed all day long, but we didn't. So I didn't realize I had an attitude outwardly.
Is there such thing as inwardly? Never mind.
We try.
Never mind.
And my first words to him as after I try to gather myself, he rolls over to embrace me, and I'm sort of like, oh, now you want to touch me in my mind. But I was like, don't think like that.
Me and y'all have had that rejection.
Yes. So I say to him, what did I say, babe? What's on your mind, or how can I pray for you?
Yeah. How can you pray?
How can I pray for you today? But I got up. And when I came back, he was looking at me kind of weird. I'm like, what's going on? He said, you said that so aggressively, like you were frustrated. And I said, I was frustrated. So we didn't talk it through. I think I did. No, I said everything. And I said, intimacy, we need to do better. Just some things I wanted to run down regarding us, even though I wanted him to give me his thoughts on what happened the previous night.
She was bad, man.
Yeah. So when he expressed himself, I received it. I felt like he needed to get out. That was exactly what he was going through, what I thought he was going through with the anxiety. But we didn't talk about it any further. Quiet. Y'all, we spent a 5-hour trip in silence on the way back to Texas, to Houston.
Well, we both were in silence.
Yes.
But my mind was loud. She was everything under the sun. Let me just say that.
Is that right?
Yeah, everything under the sun. I said, I cannot believe this is, it is very transparent.
I get it.
I was cussing out in my head, and that's my wife, love her to death. But, but I just had to that was the longest 5 hours ever.
Yes.
I just wanted to go stop at my parents' house just to have somebody to talk to, So, and and the weather was bad coming home.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was very disturbing. I don't know if y'all ever sat for 5 hours next to somebody and didn't have a word to say, and you locked up in a room and didn't have anything to say to one another. That would make anybody pull their hair out. I don't know how we did it. I really don't.
We did, and we're not even the type of people that give each other the silent treatment.
No.
We don't do that. We don't argue much. If we do have a discussion or disagreement, it's about something major. It's never anything minor.
Yeah.
But when it happens, it's big. So after we got home, you went to sleep because he was drained. I immediately had something to work on my computer. I went straight into working on my computer. And the next morning, the next morning, he came over to my side of the bed. How long we gonna be like this? And I'm like, you always rushing me to not be a certain way, but I need you to pay attention to me. And, we go into that discussion of that. And so the way the Holy Spirit moved, because I think you said you prayed before you came over to me, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I didn't really want to talk because I felt like Chris is always in the mode of, let me only focus on it and fix it when the problem is changing behavior, not when it's there and there's like, because I'm not a nagger or a complainer, because that takes away from my peace. So I'm not that kind of person. But if I say something, I want you to still acknowledge it and make change without me having to constantly say it. So for him, he only makes like when it's drastic, then he's like, I don't want to deal with the behavior that comes along with, him doing something that I may not prefer. So it's like, let's hurry up and get out of this mode because I'm uncomfortable. That's how I feel. So it was something that he said that made me describe our daughter, our youngest daughter, Cadence. Cadence is very affectionate and she's very vocal with her emotions. And she's like, I love you, I love you. She'll love on you, she'll hug on you. And so I basically told him the reason why I treat our youngest child the way that I do is because I look at her and I see myself. I see the girl in me that couldn't be as open as she is. Right. Because I was rejected as a child for being emotional. I didn't get the hugs. I didn't get the I love yous. So I handle her and I give her a safe space to be who she is because I felt like I didn't get that. And so when I described that to him, like, I'm Cadence, I'm a grown woman. I'm 46 years old. I have 4 kids. I have a husband, but there's still a little girl inside of me that longs for your attention, that wants you to see me when I walk in the room. And it was a question that he asked me because I didn't grow up with my biological father in my life. And we'll talk about that in another episode. And we've had our ups and downs, but now we're at a great space. We're in a great space. And so he asked me, what do you think life would have been like if your dad would have been in your life, like throughout your life? And when I began to describe to him what I felt like life would have been like, I began to break down and cry. And it was because that was the little Tashell that he tapped into, of describing the room would have stopped when I walked in. My dad had a nickname for me that I don't really remember, but he had it for me when I was younger, and that would have made me feel special to be called a specific name just by my dad. He would have bragged on me and told the world about his daughter. And I said, and I would have felt protected because I felt like I went through so much in my life, feeling like I was alone. I didn't have that shield of protection that he would have probably given to me. So let us know how you felt in that moment. I mean, because I felt like it was a breakthrough. It was a huge breakthrough for us, y'all.
Yeah, so that is when daddies love their little girls, right? That's just kind of who we are. We love our sons too. Respect to my son, but we love our little girls differently. I can't explain it because we feel that, not feel, we have to protect them, and we have to just always be that person that we gonna stand in the gap. Don't bring that boy home. Don't do this. Don't do that. That's kind of who we are. But in that moment, I was able to see the little Tashell come out, and it made me want to not treat her like my daughter, but I truly understood that importance. Those of you that have kids, the way you raise the first one is not the way you raise the second one, is not the way you raise the third one. But some of y'all, if y'all get down to 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, there is, okay, this is what I'm gonna do better. And then that we're getting older, more wiser, more mature. So therefore, it's kind of like I know what I need to do in order to tap into that little girl, to be that father, to be that husband. Now there's just sometimes we just have to tap into that little child, and to treat it as such, so we can just propel and push through life. And there's a better understanding. I've learned a lot about her that day, and we've been together for 14. And I learned a lot about her, and as any little girl, whenever the little girl cries, our daughter, like when my daughter cries, and I may jump on her, but the first thing we do, we grab them, hold them. Daddy, okay. Just, I'm sorry, but I understand. Just go ahead and lay on me. It's okay. And I just told her to just call me daddy from here on out. I need that in my life.
And I was like, are you serious? I'm not calling you daddy. Ever am I calling you daddy.
I can't get the knee lady. I can't. Okay. See, I got to find out. Brothers, y'all need to chime in. Like, how do you make your woman call you daddy? That's on the next episode on Catch 22. But I guess, yeah, I mean, listen. So, yeah.
Like you said, so it's things that, so he'll say to me now, which is, I haven't told you, but it melts my heart, babe.
Okay.
When you check in with me and you said, so how's little Tashell? It shifted something. It made me feel like you were, because I feel like we're just kids that are acting in an adult body a lot of times. Like, we have this expectation to do all these things. And sometimes we just want to go in a corner and just be like, I'm tired. I don't know how to do that. Or,
Right.
And so when you said, how is little Tashell? It was like you were checking on the innermost parts of me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've seen you all day. You tended to the kids. You've done all this. But how are you really on the inside? And it just melted my. And so for me, when I told you that, when you told me I remind you of your grandmother, you said I have her spirit. I knew then I needed to tap into little Cruize because of how you describe how your grandmother loves you. But now I say to him, I know little Cruize was proud when he did it. Because ultimately, that's what we are. Like, all want to be loved and we want to be handled with so much tender love and care, as if we were a child.
Yeah.
No?
I think we always tend to reflect back on the moments in our life I'm an athlete, so that was a game changer, right? So, case in point, the guy, I always tell the story to everybody about the guy in New Orleans. And we spent a lot of time in New Orleans, come to think about it. But we was at the jazz festival, and the guy just, he was just nagging, just being totally disrespectful to the women, for the most part. Not too much to where we would have to fight, but almost like, brother, like, look, you doing a bit too much. But all of a sudden, we were at the jazz festival, and Frankie Beverly and Mays, they struck the first chord. Now I told y'all this guy was on a rampage. Like he was just, and soon as they struck their first chord, he went into a trance. Like he stopped, and he just started moping around and moving around. And I was like, man, you all right? I had to ask him, you all right? He was like, yeah, man. You know, this, man, when I'm listening to Frankie Beverly and Mays, man, it just takes me back to when things were just okay. He said that, you know, I'm not in a good place right now. And when I hear this music, it just takes me back to a place. And I said, man, I respect you for that. And then and in that moment, he was like, man, I apologize. I think he came in and apologized to everybody for his actions. But this is that alludes to our point of like, we really need to tap into those things. And they say don't dwell in the past, but you know, there's moments that we know that we always want, that we feel that we should have just, you know, in our younger days. It could have been last week, something that was just so elevated. Like it just made you feel like, man, I want that again. So you know, I don't think it's anything. And I think that makes us better people if we're able to do that more frequent than not. Right?
I agree.
So
I agree with that.
So did we?
Speaking of the past, tell everybody how we met.
I was that dude.
Yeah, right.
And
Why you don't tell the story of how we met? That right there.
If y'all ever saw that episode of Martin and Gina when they try to figure out how they met, this is what happens. You know, she was flying on like a little angel. How you're so adorable. How can I be with you? No, that's not what she did. But in the same, so we met at my ex-girlfriend's birthday party. I don't know how she got there, but I'll let her tell that part. I mean, I don't know the whole story leading up to that, like how that happened, but and I was DJing at the, for the party. It was a skate party. And I noticed her. She looked like she was about 13 years old, and I had to check myself because I'm like, I am not dealing with no young person. I'm not going to jail. That's not me at all. And I guess as the time went on, see, I don't really tell stories good, so I'm sure she'll chime in at some point.
That's why I'm like,
but
I heard him tell the story, so that's.
But I think this is where things get a little bit cloudy on kind of who pursued who. But I think after through the whole event, I think after it was all said and done, I think I asked you to. I was packing up, right, and I asked you to carry my. So the reason why I said I asked her to carry my headphones.
You gotta clear it up, right?
No, I asked her to carry my headphones, but in my mind, I'm like, everybody doing something. Why you not doing nothing? Like that was in my mind, but I didn't say.
Getting paid to do.
But I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. So the only thing I had in my head was the time when Fred Sanford, when him and Lamont was cleaning up, and he was picking up them sticks, and Lamont was picking up that big bed. I said, can you just, I said, I'd ask you to carry my headphones. And what you say?
No, because you got paid to do that.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, but it still.
Anyway.
She did it anyway. But then what did you do?
I was walking him outside and I gave him to his friend that was with him. I mean, he asked me to carry them and I gave them to his friend.
So you didn't ask me for my number?
So let me tell the story because I was letting him.
You didn't ask me for my number?
I was letting him tell the story, y'all. You forgot about that part, sweetie.
No, I didn't. I know.
Ask him for his number. So let me tell the story from the beginning real quick.
Not from the beginning, just
quick. I walked in and I saw him because this is very important. I walked in for the first time in life. I went somewhere not looking to catch a man. Okay. Single in the streets, always somewhere trying to get my husband, okay? But this is the first time I had no intention on meeting a guy. Meeting my best friend at this skate party. Walk in the door, I see him. And I told her, girl, I could wake up to him every morning. That is an important piece of my story, babe.
That's fine.
I had to tell that part. So I said, but he's married because he had on a ring. I didn't look at which hand. I just saw a ring and it's like he's married.
On the other.
And lo and behold, he was the DJ. I love music probably more than he does. But he rocked the party. He was awesome. And afterwards, I went up to him because I wanted his information. I wanted a card. So that's when I asked him for his card. He said he didn't have any. I said, okay, can you give me a number? He's steady moving around, never really looked at me. And he gave me his number, and I said, what's your name? He said, DJ Cruise Control. I said, what did your mama name you? And he said, he looked up at me then, and he said, Christopher Williams. I said, okay, Christopher Williams. And I sat down. And so that's when he kept moving, doing all this stuff, and asked me to get his thing. And so anyway, we get outside, and I give his friend the case, and we walk on. Some dudes are trying to holler at me and my friend, and he's walking toward us, and I'm looking at him. He's looking at me. It was like a slow motion movie. And my friend calls him. I was like, dang, you gonna fall down looking at my friend. And I'm like, because I think she know these people. My friend did not know him. She ran over to him to apologize because everybody looked at him and he looked at us. I don't know if he was embarrassed. Were you embarrassed, babe?
No.
Oh, okay. And so he told her, no, it's all right, but I think your friend is cute. Tell her to call me. And I texted him and said, I don't call men. You can call me. And I gave him my number, and we talked the whole entire night till that morning.
Yeah.
Because he had to go to San Antonio, and I had to get up and go to work and do hair because it was a Friday night. And then you want to take it for our first date?
You keep going.
Oh, you want me to keep going?
Yeah, you telling the story like I told you. I can't tell stories like that.
Tell stories, babe. We just have our own way.
Go ahead. I just fill in the gap.
Okay, well, fill in the gap like you always. So that Saturday, I'm thinking I will never talk to this man again because he is a total asshole. I didn't like our conversation at all. But he texted me and said, when you get off, and I obviously I text you back something. He said, because I want to hear that raspy voice. And I said, okay. So it made me laugh. So I said to myself, okay, I'll play around. You know how we are. We're like, all right, I'll give him some of my time. So we ended up talking, and he wanted to schedule a date, which the next day, which was Sunday, when he would be back in town. So he came back in town. It was BET Awards Day. I normally don't miss the BET Awards. That was something I always watched. And he wanted me to go out with him during that time. So he promised that if I went out with him, he would make it worth my while. And he did. We went to Raw Sushi, and we went all different places.
Raw, yes.
And it ended us up at his place. I was taking snapshot pictures of his license plate, sending it to my friends in case I came up dead. You know how we do, y'all, when we do crazy stuff. That was my first time ever
nobody knows
somebody.
That.
What?
Nobody knows that. That's what, no.
Hey, people do that.
No.
Well, I had never been to somebody's. I had never been to somebody's house that I met, like just met. I'm somebody's mama. I can't be down like that in these streets. So went to his house. He cooked for me, y'all, and I wasn't the cooker, but we were hungry, and that's how he got me there. He's like, I'm hungry. I live right up the street. Oh, brother. Okay, let me take a picture. Send it to my friend. So we ended up there, and that night he said, so you the woman I've been praying for. I was like, yeah. And it's history. Like, I thought he was lying, but my kids went away to their fathers for a month because the whole month of July they would go away, and July's my birthday month. And we spent every day together, and we fell in love and sung church songs together. And because we both grew up in the Baptist church, I was in the choir, he was the drummer. So we would just talk about all the important things that mattered to us. And we knew that we were connected foundationally. Look good.
Thank you, baby.
Dude, man, you still look good.
Thank you. Look like
I still look at him like
looking like a piece of candy. Let me unwrap you.
Baby, you are crazy. So yeah, that's how we met. You have anything you want to contribute to that, babe?
You hit the nail on the head. See, now all the bright spots for me, like all the spots we went to were really cool. My cool little neighborhood spots. You know, I'm just a different kind of guy. I believe that I just kind of move a little bit different. I just don't like the same stuff everybody else likes for the most part. So I'm very extroverted, introverted, excuse me.
Both.
I extroverted when I need to be, but if you ask me in my face and see me, I'm solo dolo.
Yes.
I can travel by myself. I can go places by myself. But I'll mix with the best of them, but just know when I get home, I am drained.
Absolutely. We both. And
mentally drained.
we understand. We have so much in common, y'all.
Yeah.
I think that's why we connected so quickly. Like crazy stuff, like stomach hurt after you eat dairy too. I too. Stuff that you be ashamed to tell people.
Can I tell this? No, I ain't gonna tell it.
Yeah, he
I ain't
won't
gonna.
tell me.
I ain't. Nah, I can tell. I can tell that story.
No, but I wasn't embarrassed about my lactose intolerance at the time because we shared that in common. So it allowed me to let my guards down really quickly and to feel like I could just truly be me with him. But I want to switch lanes a little bit and just talk about what you're going to get from our podcast. Like how we're going to what are people, why should you all watch our podcast and what you gain from our story? I think you'll gain so much from our story. One of the things that we're going to share is overcoming infidelity because that's truly happened in our marriage. Like I have it written down, y'all. Healing and restoring from broken relationships. That's a big one because we both came into our marriage unhealed. We didn't know, expecting each other to heal each other. I mean, that's crazy, right? But that was an expectation. So how we navigate a blended family of he came to the table with the daughter, I came to the table with 2 children from 2 different men, and then we have a child that we share together. That's a whole lot of blending. No, we've had our ups and downs and we've learned so much from it. And we feel like it's something to share so that you all can have, I'm not going to say somewhat of a blueprint, but just to know that you can do it. You can do it with a smile on your face and with peace in your heart. You want to go about some other things?
Listen, that's not on here.
Go ahead.
You know, because I'm a sports guy.
Oh, yeah.
So we gonna talk sports, make it relative to the conversation. We gonna talk music, make it relative to the conversation as well, because all that matters as well. I'm a lifestyle kind of guy, and I love God, and I'm a lifestyle kind of guy, and I think that part is very important for what we're trying to accomplish with this podcast and connecting with everybody. For sure.
I love that. I can't wait till those episodes. I don't know if I'm going to be on those.
Yeah, you probably will.
The music ones, but I don't know about the sports.
So let me just share this one quick story. We had the opportunity to be on Shazam.
Oh, gosh, I know you're not about to tell these.
It's real quick. We had the opportunity to be on Shazam. The casting lady called and said, "Did you guys want to audition?" I'm going to keep it short. And I went to her, "Babe, we gonna be on TV. We gonna be on Shazam." Guess what she said? "I don't." And I said, "Why?" "I don't know music like that." And if y'all understand that this young lady has a routine every day, and one of those routines, all the routines except prayer requires her to have music. She knows every song, every tune. And she said no. And we would have done a great job on that episode.
Okay, baby.
And I still don't understand. And I think I'm torn from that.
I think the reason why I said no, first of all, that was so many years ago, right?
Yeah, see, there you go.
I think I was too nervous. See, every decision isn't always about, for you, it's, we would have done great on the show, which is probably true. But I think about every part of that journey. Like, am I going to be nervous on the stage? Am I going to have anxiety? What if I have to use the restroom while we on the show? Like, all those small things are things that I think about before I say yes, because back then I really struggled with anxiety heavily.
I got it.
And so
I
when you
got it.
say I'm gonna be on TV, that was scary to hear that. Even though I didn't think about, oh, I'm gonna know all the songs. That's the last thing I thought about. But for
Okay.
you know, you jump off cliffs and stuff.
I do. I do.
You face your fears. That was in my era of, oh no, they gonna see me sweat to death on this stage. They ain't gonna see me tell about no music. So that's why, babe. That's why.
Okay. I'm not. Okay. Well, I digress.
Okay.
People, you know.
Well, God, you held on to that, babe?
Yes. Thank you, Jesus. Releasing that
Release
out of my.
With him being all about sports, sports and music, I'll be sharing some beauty because I'm a beauty and wellness entrepreneur. We'll be talking about wellness, how to stay healthy, environmentally, all those types of things. We're going to talk about overcoming people pleasing, setting boundaries, because both of us share that background of feeling unworthy, wanting to be accepted and loved by people. What else?
Struggling with anxiety.
Oh, yes. Struggling
Like,
with anxiety is what we're going to talk about, as I just mentioned. And then our near-death experiences and their impact on our lives and how it shifted our perspective.
yeah.
Daddy-daughter issues, just relationships across the board, basically finding our purpose.
That's a big one.
Yes, finding our purpose and how you can find your purpose through the most painful parts of our journey. And the sky's the limit. I'm excited to really share because I don't see a lot of people sharing. I don't see a lot of people sharing the whole complete journey.
Right.
And if they share, they're taking the credit. And we don't take credit for anything that has been transformed in our lives. We give God all the glory.
Right.
And so I'm excited about the impact. I mean, our tagline is be epic, or it's gonna be epic.
It's epic.
You know, we just being real people, okay? So
yeah, it's epic.
we just picked the words for the word epic, and that is to empower. Hey, baby, you don't want to finish it?
You go ahead.
To empower, to inspire, to connect. That was it, right?
That's it.
That's what we want to do, and that's what we're going to do. And I'm excited to do this with my best friend. We've done so many things, and man, we've been disruptors in so many ways, but we've yet to come together and collaborate in true partnership, which is what we do every day, in this type of ways. I'm really excited to see what is going to happen with this. Just us sharing stories and helping other people share their stories as well.
Yes, and I'm just thrilled to be alongside of the captain. I'm just I'm the shoreman. I'm the man that throw the net out and catch the fish and reel the fish back in. You know, we gotta eat. But no, I'm thrilled to do this. And you know, I guess one of the questions I had to ask myself, like, what qualifies me to have a podcast? And I was just like, you know what? Nothing. It's just I've lived life for 51 years. And so I've been through a whole lot. A lot of things I just have not shared. You know, during my adult life, my early childhood, we love family. Both Tay and I love family to the utmost. And I think it's just realistically the ability to just reach one person. That's like our prayer. I say that prayer when we're praying every morning, for me to allow to touch one person. When I touch that person, it is very impactful. By any means necessary. You know, if it's just a handshake, a hug, some food, some water, clothing, it doesn't matter, because everything that we do glorifies God for sure. Hands down, He orders every step. But we're gonna have a whole lot of fun with this podcast, especially with us having special guests come in. And I'm not talking about just any old person. Like, we're gonna have some impactful people come through and share a lot of these topics, because what I didn't realize that everybody realistically in life is like, I was really just kind of just thinking to myself, like, man, am I the only one that feel like this? But it's a lot of people that just that can heal, should heal, and will heal. So we just want to be a small part of that journey of healing, happiness, and just keeping it very a buck, because trust me, it has not been easy at all. So I'm not going to even sit up here and lie to anybody and say it's been easy, because no, marriage is one thing. It's more than, I'm not going to go into that's other episodes.
Marriage is marriage, and so we're gonna talk about that.
So,
but before we end this,
last words, Mom.
Check in with you. How do you think this episode went?
I think it's good. It's very organic, and we're just realistically having conversation. So I'm thrilled about it. I'm thrilled for what's about to happen, and I look forward to this journey with.
And as for me, this went well. I didn't know what to expect, y'all. I just like to talk. So, I'm like, we got cameras here and there. Who am I looking at? I don't want to worry about all of that. I just like to talk, but I want to have it packaged in a way in which you can receive it best.
Right.
And my husband is a professional. Do you hear me? He's a professional in everything that we do. And so I feel good about it. I think it flowed. It was natural. I really am. So I'm grabbing my phone because I want to tell y'all how to follow us, how to stay in touch. So on IG and TikTok, follow us at catch_22 podcast. On Facebook, catch22 podcast. So follow us, share us with your friends. On YouTube, we are, forgot about that, and you really need to know about that.
We are what?
The name on YouTube.
See, she don't be sharing none of that with me.
What you mean?
I know we have a YouTube page, but I don't even know the name of the YouTube page, honestly.
Well, I'm sorry.
I tell you. See?
I know, that's so sad.
It's the real conversations.
It's the real conversations, and you're trying to switch account.
Well, while she's searching for that, I just want to give a shout out to our production.
Yes.
She behind the scenes back there. But eventually, she's going to be sitting her tail right in one of these seats. For sure. So we're going to give a shout out to Darylyn right now in her journey and things that she has going on. And she's going to speak about coming up on some episodes. You have it, babe?
I think it's Catch22 Podcast CT. Let me check right quick, though.
Well, just follow us on our social media handles, and I'm sure we have a link in IG on our handles to actually point you to the YouTube page.
Yes.
Right. So, well, I just appreciate everybody just sitting up listening. I appreciate having conversation with you. This is therapy amongst ourselves as well. So, and whatever you do in life, just continue to be happy and be present. And we love on you.
All right. Well, catch us on our next episode. See y'all soon.
Thanks for watching another episode of the Catch22 podcast featuring Chris and Tashell.
We really hope that you enjoyed it. We hope that you felt empowered, inspired, and connected to our journey in some type of way. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so you won't miss the next one. And remember to tell your story because it definitely changes lives.